So the music industry today is completely changing, and DJ Carlito has really blended in, I think, perfectly with it, and went with the waves, went with the flow of it, and has boomed into being a great rock star, to say the least. He's become well known, a great podcaster. What's your advice for others that are getting involved in the music industry in this day and age with digital releases and hard copies and things of that nature?
I'll tell you, Sid. I am envious of anyone who is trying to get into the music business today. I'm envious because, well, I can't say I'm envious. That's probably the wrong choice of words. I am. It's so much harder these days, but it's so much easier to get your music to the world. It's a click of the button. Everyone hears it. However, who can really make a livelihood off of that? Who can really, I called out a guy on social media today. He was like, I just, here's Flip the Rat album. Tell me what you think. Here it is from back to front. Is it fat or whack? And I was like, well, it's pretty fucking whack that you fucking posted that. Like, people, this is a business ultimately. This is a business. You can't go to your local electric company when they give you your bill and say, hey, look, I'm in this group, and look, I had all of these downloads, but I didn't get no money, so I don't got to pay my bill, right? They're going to be like, fuck you, man. And people, again, everything that we do comes at a cost. They put that album together for 2 fucking years. They don't have free electricity. They don't have free engineers. They don't have free, you know what I'm saying? No one's doing this off a labor of love. They're doing this because this is a job. This is a job to entertain people. And for those young cats, you have to find your niche where you're going to be able to say, okay, this is how the industry's doing it, but we can go in this back door and do it this way. And create some hype and create some, because I'll tell you what, when we started this ball of rolling, and we would be able to get into a van with street teams and go put out flyers and posters and stuff, it was effective because that was what you did, No disrespect to any street team in the world today, none, but I don't know how effective it is these days. There's no more record stores. So when you put up a poster for an album and you say in stores now, well, where? I mean, where? Best Buy doesn't sell music anymore. I do believe Walmart is cutting it down. I mean, it used to be like 3 aisles long. Now it's like a half a shelf, and half of them are like old $5 Allman Brothers band CDs and Aerosmith and shit. Yeah. So it's nothing that's happening now. But the thing that I can say, Sid, is if it's in your heart and if it's true passion, and if it's something that you would live and bleed for, live and die for, then I say go for it. Even if the industry is as fucked up as it is right now, go for it, man, because get that passion out, let it out, because the ultimate payoff will be a state of mind inside of you that you've accomplished it and you did it. And again, like I said earlier on in the interview, you're the one who holds the key to your fate. You're the one. I'm a firm believer in God. I'm a born-again Christian. And I'll tell you what, I feel as though all of us were given tools by God. And if you don't use those tools, well, then shame on you. Shame on you, because you have them. And if it's true love, you will make it happen come hell or high water. And another form of advice I would give to all of the underground, and I've been saying this for the last 25 years plus, be you. Be you. Don't be ICP. Don't be twisted. Don't be fucking hoodoo. Be you. Be who you are. I just got done doing a FFF party out in Denver a couple days ago. And, some of these parties, the promoter puts these artists on. And I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go, man. Because most of the artists that are in this game are doing this as a hobby. They're doing it as a hobby. Right, and there's no true love for it. So they're going up there and pretend, just like in independent wrestling, there's pretend wrestlers. They know how to do a couple spots, but that's it. But will they go through hell and high water to get to the next level? No, because they're content playing wrestler. Right. Just like in the hip-hop industry, underground, they're content playing at fucking Simon's in fucking Allen Park, as opposed to having bigger thoughts and bigger ideas where possibly maybe we could headline St. Andrews. You know what I mean? So whenever they say there's going to be all these local openers, I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, man, here we go. And I was pleasantly surprised, and I would be remiss if I didn't call him out by name, because when I seen his name, and I've heard of him a few times, may even seen him a few times, but he's a guy, his name's Jay Dirty, and he's with the whole Scum crew out there in Denver, Colorado. And I remember I introduced him at the party, and I remember going to sit back down at my table, and 2 or 3 juggalos were talking to me, and all of a sudden this guy started spitting, and he started going, and I literally was ignoring these people that I was in a deep conversation with because I was captivated by how good this guy was. I couldn't wait to come back and tell Violent J. Him and I talked about this guy for an hour last night. And I was just like, I was blown away by, that there's still some cats in this world who still have that talent and that love and that drive to be different. He didn't come out with makeup. He didn't come out spitting, I'm going to do this with the dead body and all that. He had his own flow, but it still worked for the juggalos, and it still worked for the underground. Content means a lot. Just because you're underground doesn't mean that it's all about dead bodies and wicked. You know what I'm saying? You could still be underground, but still have your own content and be who you are. And that's really the most important thing, because I'm going to tell you right now, record companies, which that are a few and far in between these days, they're not looking for the next ICP. They're not looking for the next Twisted. They're looking for the next you or whoever the fuck you are.
Called Fearless Fred Fury. What is your favorite song on that album? And how long did it take for you guys to be able to put all of this together from front to back, the visions and everything?
Well, I can't take any credit for any of this thing on this album, to be honest with you. Straight Jacket, Violent J, and Shaggy 2 Dope went into the Lotus Pod for 2 years. 2 years solid. And they came out with a masterpiece. And I'm always skeptic about anything that comes out anytime. I'm always skeptic about anything that comes out anytime in this day and age, because you still got to try to remain fresh, and you still got to try to remain something that people are interested in. And I was pleasantly surprised when Carlito told me on the road, I was like, so did you hear the new album? And he was like, it's fucking great from top to bottom. I was like, okay, sure. So then I finally heard it. I made myself, because I had the opportunity to listen to it a couple weeks ago, and I told the person that was going to play it for me at the office, I want to wait until that day. I want to wait until that day. So the day finally came, and I got to listen to it with the Juggalos for the first time in Denver, Colorado at the Roxy. And the whole time, my mouth was just on the floor. I was like, wow, this is really, really, really fucking good. And I was really surprised by, well, I wasn't really surprised by it, but I was really impressed by the engineering on it and the sound quality. I mean, it's like so crisp and so clean, and it's just so dope, man. It's so dope. And it's really hard for me to say one particular song that I like, because there's so many of them on there that it's really weird when you get an album that doesn't have any fillers in it, that they're just bangers. So, it's like one of those albums that for me personally, I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, I could just put it in and let it play. I don't have to skip and scam and all of that good stuff, But I really like the content, and I really like the the love of the song Satellite. You know, I love the vision of looking at yourself from the top of the space and who are you? Who are you? Who are we really? You know what I mean? I love that.
I still gotta say, Triple X was probably one of my favorites on that album. I was shocked by it. I was one of those people, I'll be honest. I was kind of like, Fearless Fred Fury. I might pass it up. But then I started hearing some of the tracks coming out.
I wasn't feeling the name of it at first. I was like, huh? But then when I got and I understood the concept, and I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm the one interviewing you, but but I had to ask you one last question before we wrap up here because it's been blowing my mind. What is the future for Rude Boy looking like after Juggalo weekend? All of this success, all of this Two Dope tour, the whole nine. What's gonna be next for Rude Boy? What can we expect to see from Rude Boy?
Rude Boy, once again, continuing my show with my best friend DJ Carlito, Cruising the Barrio, Cave Radio Broadcasting, CRBradio.com, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can hear it anywhere in the world on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We've got some really cool things that are happening. Of course, we still run International Big Time Wrestling in Detroit. We still continue to do that, man. Really, for me, it's not about what I'm doing these days. It's watching what my son is doing, my partner, and he's got a lot of big things coming up. But you can always find out what we're doing. You just go to social media, check out Rude Boy on Rude Boy Love on Instagram. That's LUV, Rude Boy Love. Or you can check me out on Twitter, which I hardly ever use because they only let me put so many words. And, as you can see, I'm a man with many words. But no, I'm just continuing to do my community activism. I'm the proud president of an organization called Chicano Revolution. In Chicano Revolution, we are a group of we're a group of Mexican brothers and sisters, and we continue to make sure that children are clothed and they're fed in the inner city. And that doesn't mean you have to be Mexican or nothing to do that. We cater to all children, black, white, yellow, brown, whatever. It doesn't matter. We make sure that they're taken care of. We make sure that they have rides to school in bad neighborhoods so they don't have to walk to school, or in bad weather they don't have to walk in rain and stuff. We make sure that, even though it's in a couple people's little cars and stuff like that, we make a couple trips to make sure that the kids make it to school. We make sure that they have food on their belly after going to school. We also teach the youth. We teach them that to respect authority, respect what you're being taught in school, but also know that there are a lot of lies being taught to you in school as well. A lot of lies. Now, again, you don't have to debate those lies, but what we teach the kids is read and find out for yourselves, experience for yourselves what those lies are. Sid, we live in a cynical world, man. We live in a fucking scary times, man. We really do. And it makes me wonder about the youth of the world. What's going to happen to them in the future? I mean, we have seriously. I don't know what anyone's political beliefs are, but I know we got a fucking lunatic in the fucking White House. We straight up have a lunatic, racist, misogynistic pig. And how do children look up to that? How do children say, "I want to strive to be that guy"? So it's up to us as adults. And again, this ain't just with Chicano Revolution. This is with Juggalos. This is with whatever you call yourselves. It's up to you to help these kids grow into being productive, non-racist, and just people that love one another. What happened to those days? That's why it warms my heart when I go to Juggalo Day or when I go to the gathering and I see so many people who are all on the same page. And of course, like I said before we got on the air with RoX, I told him, I said, People thrive on drama, and they thrive on misery, and they thrive on, you know, what's that old saying, misery loves company. It's a true fact. It's a true fact. That's why there's so many haters in the world. What about this? Here's something. You want to be real alternative? How about be one of those ones that just love everyone, man? And just be good to one another. Be kind to one another. What happened to those days?
Well, from what I've seen at Juggalo Day weekend, it's everywhere. See, you can always tell at a Juggalo show when it's that guy who's about to get into the mosh pit. He's got that walk to him. But for me, what I had witnessed, it was like a reunion of friends that hadn't seen each other since the last psychopathic event. People greeting each other with hugs and all this love and admiration. I had never been to a Juggalo Day. I've never been to a gathering. But every single psychopathic show, whether it was DCG-Con last year that I was at, I was treated with absolute love and respect and admiration. I love the Juggalo scene. I think that that's one of the things that really drives people to the Insane Clown Posse and the Juggalos is that it's different from other music scenes.
Well, the thing is, Sid, is Juggalo Day and the gatherings and all of these get-togethers, ballers and all of that stuff, Hollow Wicked, it's not only about Insane Clown Posse. It's really about the Juggalo love, man. You know, that's what it all boils down to. And I've told Joe Bruce this a million times. That gift that you brought all these people together was from God himself. That you put together people that were the misfits of the world, that had nowhere else to turn to but to each other. And now, guess what? The world is now recognizing and saying, those people ain't so bad. They're not so bad. Give them a chance, man. And it's very cool that in this day and age, 2019, that finally the mainstream, even though they're not going to come and hang out and they're not going to buy tickets to concerts and stuff, you know what they're like? They're like, hey, man, leave those guys alone. They're not fucking with nobody. They're not hurting nobody. Let them be who they are. You know what I mean? And that is one of the coolest things about where we stand in the Juggalo world, you know? And like you said, okay, so this is your first Juggalo Day. I guarantee it won't be your last. And you haven't been to a gathering. I guarantee you go to this year, you're going to be like, there's no way I'm ever going to miss this, ever going to miss this. And that's just what happens with all Juggalos. And we know that it's not easy to go to everything. Some people ain't like Jimmy in Massachusetts, who's rich beyond his belief and goes to everything. Shout out to you, Jimmy. I always bust his balls. I'm like, oh, poor little rich boy. But no, he's a great guy. You can't go to all of them, but you know the ones that you have to be at. The ones that you have to be at. And you talk about that reunion of friends who ain't seen each other in years. Think about this, man. We're going on 30 years doing this. I've watched these kids grow into men and women that have kids of their own and that have grandchildren of their own. So, I mean, that is pretty fascinating to me, man. And I'm just glad to still be a part of it after all these years.
You know, and I'm definitely proud to be a part of this as well, especially with Juggalo Day weekend here in New Orleans. And I'd love to keep talking to you, but I think my boss is telling me that we need to sign off here. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sid Jones, and this is
Rude Boy Rudy Hill. And like I always say, whether it be on Cruising the Barrio or whether it be on the Juggalo show, you know we're not here for a long time, y'all, but we are here for a good time. Be good to one another. Take care of one another. Until next time, whoop, whoop. God bless you.
If you've enjoyed this video from RoX-TV.com, make sure you follow RoX-TV on Facebook and YouTube.